if you don't know, then don't assume. Don't make assumptions about who the person is or what their political point of view is or anything like that. But the biggest one is just like, take a breath. Just take a breath. And so there are a lot of situations where before I go into what I think is a fraught situation, I'll say to myself, like, just take some deep breaths. An hour from now, it's going to be over one way or another. So you can either handle yourself in a way that you're proud of, or you can handle yourself in a way that you're not proud of, and then you'll regret that for years to come. So you may as well.
It's very stressful, though, because not only are you representing what you're standing for, but like people are using you as a bridge. So if you misrepresent who they are, even your own people don't want to associate themselves. So then you're spit out of the mouth. You're no party. What's up, guys? This video is sponsored by Life Cycle. Wait, hold on before you skip, because you're like, oh, it's just an ad. It's not an ad. It's an add-on to your life. And let me tell you why. I travel with these little guys. You can get the Life Cycle, kit. I might be saying it wrong, but I'll do an overlay over here, show you what it looks like. These things have changed my life. I'm not exaggerating in any way. I want to actually stick to this one right here, the shiitake. Let me tell you why I know that this is actually real and it's not no placebo effect. I didn't know that shiitake, because I'm doing the whole cycle together, because it's all good for you, right? That's what my girlfriend told me to do, so I'm just doing all of them. The shiitake one is for your hair, skin, and nails. I didn't know that this does hair, okay? Like a dummy butt. I'm just taking the whole thing knowing it's good for me. But one day I'm looking at my hair, I'm like, whoa, bro, like my beard is getting way more full and shiny. Even my hairdresser is like, your hair's looking really healthy. And I go, what have I been doing? Have I been eating something different? And I go, oh my God, it's a Life Cycle thing. So I looked it up and other people said the same thing. So if you want to be part of us, beautiful, healthy people, get Life Cycle now. It's in the description. Stop playing games with us.
One of the things that I say frequently to my wife and to people I'm close to is that what we talk for a living. And talking for a living means people think that most of the effort goes into the talking. And what I say very frequently is I would say 80% of the stress in my life comes from not saying things. Right? You want to say something and you're like, you know what, that's not smart. Yeah. You know what, that's a dumb thing to do. You know what, it feels good in the moment, but don't do it. Right? Self-control is extremely stressful and extremely energy intensive.
So you're saying to be a great speaker, you have to learn to not speak.
Yes.
Good, valid point. I'm going to take that in. I'm learning to be a good speaker that people could take seriously. I have to be slow to speak and quick to listen. I just did my first college experience with Charlie Kirk. Mm-hmm. And it was an amazing experience because I'm watching people express how they feel. And I love that. Even if I don't agree with you, I love the fact that we could still express what you feel. And there was a moment I wanted to share with you where the people that are amongst Charlie are obviously with our mindset of where we want the country to go. And it could be overwhelming for that one child that's trying to speak his point of view. And I saw him shaking. And he was saying some wild things that I couldn't even believe. But before I asked him any questions, I said, can I ask you one question? Are you at peace? Do you have joy? And he, while shaking, said, actually, I don't. And that made me realize, I'm like, okay, well, this is the time as Christians, or honestly, even a Jewish man would believe, you go and you take your hand out and you help this man.
Right. Good for you. That's awesome.
Everybody started booing him and yelling at him after another thing. And I got up and I rebuked the whole crowd. And I said,
I've done too. Yeah.
I go, you guys only have wisdom because God gave you the wisdom. So you smack down the man who doesn't. That doesn't even make sense. I'm entering the political version of who I am by telling people, don't lean on me for advice. I'm learning. And what I want to do is before I go and tell, the left side or whoever is the other side is, I'm trying to learn what my home is representing. And there's a lot of things that they're representing that they claim, but their practices are not really where our heart should be. What do you think my first step should be? Fixing our home and our positioning in our neighbors? Or going and standing up for what I believe in, even though people that are next to me are not behaving in the way that they should be?
Yeah, that's a really, really difficult question. I mean, I think that the obvious answer is you have to do both simultaneously, but it's very difficult. I mean, on the one hand, you're part of politics is always coalitional. You're always on a side with many people who you agree with on 80% of issues and really disagree with on 20% of issues, and so you're never going to achieve ideological or attitudinal purity on your own side. It's just not possible because it's many people. And so trying to purify is it's an ongoing process. It doesn't mean that you don't have the obligation to go out and preach your version of the truth from your attitude to the other side. And I love how generous you're being with people. I mean, I think that's wonderful. And I think also that brings followers as well. I mean, I think that the politics right now is incredibly oppositional. It makes for rock'em sock'em robots, and it's really fun to watch, obviously.